Let's talk about setting up for success. I'm going to give you my top 2 tips. So the first one is to use a messy mat or a tray. This is going to define your art space so you know exactly where you're working, and it's going to protect the surface of whatever you're working on. So if there's a nice table underneath, we're not going to ruin it with all of the fun we're having when we're making our art, because sometimes when we have fun, it does get a little bit messy. Even though I have plenty of no mess and low mess projects, I like to paint, and paint is wet, and wet can, be hard on surfaces. So we're going to protect our surfaces with a messy mat. What can you use for a messy mat? Let me show you a few things. So you could use an old paper bag. That's right. And guess what? This is going to give you 2 messy mats. So if you cut along the sides and you take off the bottom and then you cut it in half, you are going to get 2 pieces. And you know what? You can actually reuse these over and over again. It's nice thick paper and it's very big, so it's going to cover your space. You can also use poster board or tag board. I'm going to show you one that we used for an entire year in my studio. Many artists worked on this surface. It's also quite large. Let me see if I can show it to you. It actually has become a piece of art. And if it gets really funky, you can flip it over and use the other side. This is nice and thick, and I like to slide it behind a bookcase when I'm not using it. Once in a while, we do a project that uses wet mediums, especially our science projects. So sometimes I just like to grab an old tray because this is gonna catch all the mess and make it really easy to get to the sink. And you could use a plastic one too. That was just a really old beaten up cookie sheet. So use what you have. Okay, here's my second tip. I really love this one, and I use it all the time for myself and with my artists. A wet rag in a little plastic container. So the cool thing about this is when we're making art and we get a little something on our hands, we tend to want to wash it off. And instead of running back and forth to the sink, which could make a mess all around the room and takes away time from your art, you can just use a little wet rag to wipe off your hands as you're creating whenever you need to. So if this is possible to do, I highly suggest trying it out. It's really great for when you're using glue or paint or even oil or chalk pastels to keep your hands clean and to give yourself more time at the table creating art. If you enjoyed this lesson, click the like button, and if you want to be the first to see our new videos, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. See you next time at Studio Sprout, where we come together to make art have fun and grow.